Committee, Ashley Hinson. She also serves on the House Select Committee on China. Congresswoman, thank you so much for joining us and for giving us a little bit of your time here on this Easter weekend. We just heard this brilliant reporting from Aisha Hasmi there on the ground in Taiwan, and you also met with President Tsai when she came here to the United States, and now we're seeing this rather dramatic response from China. They had threatened you prior to the meeting, sending you these emails. You went to the meeting anyway. U.S. officials joining, kind of showing a solidarity with Taiwan. But now this response from China is fairly significant, the most potentially significant show of force in this kind of war game fashion that we've seen in quite some time. Your reaction to the Chinese response, do you think it's at all proportional? And do you have any particular concerns about it?
Well, first and foremost, I won't be bullied and I won't be deterred from meeting with who we need to be meeting with and where we need to be meeting with them. China cannot dictate that to any U.S. lawmaker, and I want to be very, very clear about that. But what a pivotal meeting it was, in such a pivotal place for us to sit down with President Tsai at the Reagan Library. We know what President Reagan stood for, and that was peace through strength. And so it is very clear that we delivered the message to China and the Communist Party, which is that we will continue to stand with our allies, our freedom-loving allies around the world. Don't mess with the United States. Don't mess with Taiwan. And President Xi has very clearly shown that he is a bully. And you know what bullies respond to? They respond to strength. So that's exactly what the United States is showing here in a bipartisan fashion. We're not doing this as Democrats or Republicans, but truly as Americans.
As I noted, this Chinese response isn't necessarily seen as proportional by many U.S. officials, a rather huge show of force. But right now, at the very end of Aisha's report, she pointed this out, that we're trying to get U.S. weapons that have already been promised there onto the island. Your thoughts about how prepared the Taiwanese military is, and how prepared is the United States to potentially send troops there?
Yeah, well, look, let's be clear here. We want to make sure we are deterring any conflict, period. We value peace, which is why, again, our focus needs to be on strength. We need to do everything we can to ensure that Taiwan can continue to defend itself. And I agree, we need to ramp up our production of these weapons or allow the Taiwanese people to do it themselves. We've had conversations with President Tsai about how we might be able to do that to make sure we are delivering on our commitment to give them what they need to defend themselves. I think it also comes down to the United States being a leader in terms of continuing to develop relationships in the Indo-Pacific region, trade, manufacturing, technology, making sure that China doesn't get that upper hand is the best way to deter them. So we're going to be focused on policies, again, from our committee, the Select Committee on competition with the Chinese Communist Party, ways that the United States can make sure that that next century is an American one, not a Chinese one.
Yeah. I mean, Taiwan, not just a diplomatic partner, an important partner as far as just securing democracy around the world, but also, as you mentioned, a trading partner. What are the steps that the United States can take beyond, helping them harden their defenses?
Well, again, when it comes to trade, Iowa is, of course, a great trading partner with Taiwan. We recently signed a deal last fall where Taiwan's going to be purchasing billions of dollars worth of our corn and soybeans. That's a message that we need to continue to take throughout the Indo-Pacific region, Vietnam, the Indonesian countries, making sure that we're focused on India and creating new partnerships there. Because what we can do, again, through these relationships is give these countries more economic opportunity as well. We need to focus on our relationships with Japan as well and Korea. So there are a lot of places where we as a global leader can make sure that we're, again, exercising that peace through strength and relationships. So again, that's what our focus is going to be, is asking for that from the Biden administration. I think the Biden administration doctrine of appeasement, it's time we move beyond that. It's time we move to a place where we are exhibiting that strength. We need that leadership. So I'm hopeful that we'll be able to do that and do that in a bipartisan way going forward.
Before I let you go, this report dropped Thursday just before the holiday regarding the exit from Afghanistan. It's very critical, the Biden administration's report, very critical of the former administration, the Trump administration, setting a lot of blame in that direction. Your thoughts on this released report?
Well, no matter how the Biden administration tries to spin it, the exit from Afghanistan was a chaotic, dysfunctional exit, and President Biden was the commander-in-chief when that happened. We lost 13 American lives as a result of that, a Marine from the great state of Iowa. Taliban has taken over, oppressing women and girls, and I think when you look at the chaos that's left, we have a lot of questions that need to continue to be answered, and I think the Biden administration, again, should focus on a new doctrine of strength as opposed to this doctrine of chaos and appeasement that they've enacted all over the world. It's weakened us on the global stage, and I think it's high time we change the way we're addressing these issues across the world.
Representative Ashley Hinson, thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate your insights, and I wish you a happy Easter weekend.
Happy Easter to you, too. Thanks, Molly.
Griff?